Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Podcast channel. Live from Studio A, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we hope to talk to racing Professor Rodney Rodriguez. If not, then I guess we're just going to sit here and twiddle our thumbs. Konrad will have the In Wheel Time Car Clinic, we hope. And I may or may not bring you this week's automotive news.
And Erica Ender's movie was called Right on Track.
That has nothing to do with the intro to this show.
And it was released in 2003, so this is the 20th anniversary of the movie. Erica, if you're watching, we'd like to have you come on.
She's in Tulsa, so you can forget that.
Okay. Well, she tags in every now and then.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, I'm Don Armstrong.
And you're not.
Jeff's on vacation, and this guy here, Mr. Annoying, Konrad DeLong, is here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to
poke Don.
Poke me. That's exactly right.
And Jeff's enjoying his family reunion in Michigan. I think they drove to the UP.
Yeah, I don't know the timing of all of that, but I tried to show him some pictures, and I don't want to see that. Okay.
Well, when I worked for General Motors, I used to go to Michigan a lot, and I always kept my return ticket in my pocket with me because I never wanted to lose it and get stuck there.
Stuck where? In the UP?
In Michigan, in Detroit.
Oh, in Detroit. Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't fly Delta into Detroit, you're screwed. Your airport is about a mile and a half away from the
United,
main building.
Yeah, United's.
Yeah.
And
they've got one
Terminal E.
Yeah, and they've got one little bitty here's that United people. They're over there. One gate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you got to check in over here and go through that tunnel underneath all of the runways to get to the other.
That goes on forever.
Well, I don't know.
But at least they were playing Motown music in the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta's worse getting around because Atlanta, you got like 4 tunnels, but they got these little trains underground to move you from tunnel to tunnel.
You know, it's funny. When I went on vacation, I did find out the fact that Bush Intercontinental Airport still has that little train that they originally put in there in 1969.
Yeah, the little toll booths all the way in the bottom level.
Toll booths?
Yeah, because that little train's about the size of a toll booth.
It is. But I think that they've actually upgraded. No, not upgraded. They changed out the cars. So 1969 technology, it went from 1969 all the way to 1974.
When Austin was a Cub Scout, we took his Cub Scout pack to the airport.
To ride the train.
Well, not only to ride the train, but they took him back in the maintenance department and showed him how it worked, because that's all electromagnetic movement of the train.
Yep.
It's not an electrically driven wheel. There's electromagnets that kind of push the train along. Kind of interesting technology.
Old technology.
Old technology, but still kind of interesting.
It is. And, you also used to be able to, before 9/11, you go into the airport, just walk right on in, and they had observation decks up on the
main terminals.
In the main terminals, and you could walk up there and watch the planes come in and park and all that stuff. Well, not anymore. That's been gone for a long time, but yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, I actually got in DFW in the tower. At DFW one time, a friend of mine worked up there.
I've been to the tower at Hobby.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
connected.
Yeah, you're quite connected. You're a member of the Broadcast Hall of Fame. I'm jealous.
Racing Professor Rodney Rodriguez. There he is right there. Rodney, good morning.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Can you hear us okay?
I've got to adjust the speaker, but I'll do it in flight. As long as you guys can hear me, I can hear you good enough.
Oh, you're coming in loud and clear. Picture is perfect. Well, I like the ceiling light in your room there that's glowing above your head. Of course, that may be a halo that is left, but whatever.
I would tell you this is my office, but it's a formal dining room that I have all my stuff in.
So in other words, you took over the dining room. How often do people use dining rooms anymore?
You know, that's what I always, in my real estate business, I tell builders, because I walk into new homes and it's like this huge dining room, and I'm like, dude, put a closet in there, make it a flex room or something. Nobody going to eat in there. I mean, I've had clients where for closing gifts, I give them like TV trays. I'm like, here's your dining furniture.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know.
Swanson TV dinners.
Oh, yeah. That was great. With the aluminum foil on the top.
Salisbury steak.
Put it in the oven because there wasn't any microwave back then.
I've got 2 of those in the freezer. 2 of those in the freezer. Salisbury steak, corn, and mashed potatoes with the little peach cobbler thing.
Yeah.
Done.
You know what? You really shouldn't tell people that because all I can think of is steaks on the barbecue out back, maybe a big brisket. You got all this time off, big star, radio, television, and stage, screen, all of that stuff. Rodney Rodriguez, and here he is with Swanson TV dinners. Well, mine aren't Swanson. They happen to be Marie Callender's, but right along the same lines. I got 2 of them in there right now.
Chicken pot pies.
Chicken pot pies. And, I will tell you, still today, the best chicken pot pies are the banquets, the cheapest ones there are, because the Marie Callender's, the crust is too thick. I don't like that thick crust.
Now, Rodney thought he called into a car show.
Hell no.
We've become a food show.
No, this has become the frozen food show.
the cheap frozen food show.
My TV dinner, I mean, mine are banquet, and I'll tell you what. They had the Nighthawk brand,
yes,
and they were like $4.48.
A lot of money, yeah.
These banquets, man, $1.68. But the whole thing is, like we're talking about, I have to eat 2, because it's that little patty or whatever.
Yeah, no, I've never thought of that, but I know that I have not been satisfied with just one, and I have to supplement it with either a bowl of cereal or something like that.
A salad or something. If you take 2 of them and put both of them on the same plate, then to me it's a little too much.
You don't take it out of the container. Do you do that?
No, you put it. You set it there to where you can eat it like eating out of dog bowls. You can eat both.
Add a mission tortilla to it or 2.
Now there you go. There you go.
There you go. Those go with anything.
Yep.
I mean, with absolutely anything.
Or 2 hot dogs at the racetrack.
Oh,
Dollar Dog Day.
Oh my
Dollar
gosh.
Dog Day.
Yeah, with those little squeeze packs of mustard, relish, and I really prefer
and
some
the onions have been sitting there in that bowl for 4 months.
Oh yeah,
fermented.
Yeah, absolutely. But then they're real strong too. But you got to have those.
When we were racing in Kyle, I dubbed it was Central Texas Speedway where you get the best wieners in town, and that went over so well because our hot dogs were good, and the crowd loved that. The crowd absolutely loved that.
Oh yeah,
in Kyle, Texas, not too far from the Salt Lick over in Buda.
That's right.
One of the best barbecue places around.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Now,
but don't tell that to Franklin's up in Austin.
Now that we've changed the whole makeup of the show, I'm kind of liking it, and I think it'll probably be more popular, and we'll have more viewers and people that we reach every week.
We could start having tastings here. We could have little bowls and some chips, and we could have tastings.
Instead of in wheel time, at dinner time.
At dinner time, that's exactly right.
Dude,
in wheel time, at
wheel
dinner
time, ghetto food reviews.
That's exactly right. Oh yes, absolutely. Well, there's something to be said for all of that.
Sponsored by Banquet and Swanson.
And Hebrew National Hot Dogs.
Ooh, yeah. Say Brett's.
Well, that's for you because you're a New Yorker. Yeah. We don't get that down here. For here, it'd be James Coney Island, which are going away.
Are they really?
Completely? And Wiener Schnitzel is back in town. Apparently, I haven't visited.
We have a Wiener Schnitzel around the.
Of course, yes. And Mars.
Yeah, but yours is the original.
Oh,
they haven't updated it yet. It's the Dirty Water dogs. They still have that 40-year-old dirty water. They're cooking the
flavor.
Dogs.
You have to order those special.
We've got one here in North Austin. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's probably about 12 miles from me. And it's so funny because over here in Austin, in northwest Austin, they have this fancy thing called the Domain, and it's where all the people go shop and go do it. It's a cool spot to be rather than downtown Austin. And right as you pull out of there, there's a Wiener Schnitzel sitting right there. It's like, man, that's perfect right there. Perfect.
Do you
I'm
stop
not going to go
in?
eat that high dollar stuff. I'm going to go get a Wiener Schnitzel, then I'll go to the Domain.
Get a kraut dog.
And Austin's such a foodie town anyhow. There's some good food in Austin.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, hey, listen, it's great talking to you. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, guys.
Oh, God.
So what's going on in asphalt racing in Texas?
Not much.
It's hot.
September 12th, we'll get at it again in Houston. But I do want to talk about with you guys, because actually there's let me look at my calendar. Coming up on August the 19th over at 105 Speedway in Cleveland that I've talked about in the past. Mm-hmm. They are having it. Howard Willis. I don't know, Don, you may remember that name. Howard Willis has he's celebrating his 50th year in racing, and the guy's still kicking everybody's tail. He's in his 70s, and he is just tremendous. And on August 19th, they're going to celebrate his 50 years of racing with a big night for him at 105. He'll actually be racing. I mean, he's like contending for a points championship still in year 50. So that's going to be something super cool for folks up that way to go check that out.
105 Speedway, is that owned by the same people that used to own the Gator thing up there in Conroe?
I don't know. I don't know if it is or not, but I'll tell you what, that 105 up there, they are grinders. They race every week. I mean, and that's
a dirt track.
Old school. That's a dirt track.
Is it? How long is the track?
I think it's a quarter mile, if I'm not mistaken.
So
I haven't been there.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of a question we talked about the other day on the phone, Rodney.
Yeah.
How are those dirt tracks doing with all this heat? As far as like drying the track out, and I know they wet them down to start the race, but
that's the struggle that they're finding is obviously you get out there and you're working on it during the week. I mean, because I think that's really the key is to get the moisture into the racetrack, underneath, not just on top. And but it's just, I mean, the heat's, unbearable. And you're seeing the water truck used a lot more. I mean, what's actually happening now is like they'll actually take time during the racing program to stop and actually get out there and work on the track a little more, because it just dries out and ruts up so quick. And I've started to see where tracks are pushing back their start time. I know like Waco, they usually start at 8:00 on Friday nights, and now they're pushed to 8:30, and hell, a lot of times it's 9 because they're still trying to get the track in order. I saw a track in North Texas. I think their water is supplemented from, like a stock tank thing that's right near the property. Tank dried up. They couldn't get any water. They had to cancel.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot. And I'll tell you what again, I overthink things, but it's like, with water conservation and water restrictions and scarcity and water and all that, I keep wondering at the pace that we're going at. I mean, I was watching a trend study this morning where they're talking about, in the next 14 to 21 days, we don't see anything changing. I mean, I wonder if at some point somebody's going to be like, don't be using all this water. So I don't know.
Yeah, because there's already burn bans in a lot of the outlying areas.
Greta No Funberg.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you can't race. No,
you're so wrong. Something happened to your mind many years ago, and it's now just it's trying to come out through your head there.
It's leaking out my ears.
That's what it is.
Yeah, 105 is a quarter mile dirt oval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
can you give me some free tickets?
Oh man, I don't even know those people. I'm gonna try to make it down there though. Howard's a friend of mine. I've watched him race for a lot of years, and
so you're not announcing at that track.
No, I don't know who announces over there. I don't know who announces. I'm gonna go be a fan.
I got you. Okay. Well, you can still buy me a ticket.
Oh yeah, we can meet up there.
He didn't say he'd buy me a ticket, but we can meet up there.
Yeah. We can go Dutch.
He didn't take the bait.
I'll buy you a ticket. And
he'll bring you a chicken pot pie.
That's right.
And just put it under the hood of the car and cook it on the way over.
Don't even need that. Just put it on the aluminum stands and let it sit there and cook throughout during the sundown. Yeah.
Right.
So How is the sport of oval track racing in the state of Texas? I know that you announced for several racetracks, and I worry about racing in general because back in my day, it was kind of tough to even find a seat at a racetrack. And I know that it's not been that way, at least any of the tracks that I go to. Even in NASCAR, there's plenty of wide open seating.
Yeah. It's amazing how empty the stands are now.
Texas is healthy when it comes to dirt. I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, kind of not to throw a pun at you, but with the lack of rain, but to me, dirt's a little oversaturated, to be honest with you, because what you have at this point is, I mean, here, let's take tonight, for example, here south. And I always talk north versus south when it comes to dirt track racing in Texas, because it's definitely two distinct areas, not only in geography, but just in car counts and the way things work out. But down here tonight, you've got two tracks. You've got a track in Pleasanton, which is not quite halfway between San Antonio and Corpus on I-37. You've got that track, and then you've got a track in Edna, which is Texana Raceway Park, and that's a little further east, kind of in that Flatonia area, back out that way, 25 miles this side of Victoria. You've got those two tracks racing tonight, both of them, and those two tracks cater to the same drivers. So that right there, they're splitting that. And again, I understand that the track owners need to try to race as often as possible and do all of that. But and you see the same thing up north, with the tracks up in DFW. But it seems like up there, we got to get back to the cooperation part. Cooperation needs to happen. I don't think tracks intentionally go head to head. It's just a matter of business. But they're doing fine. And obviously asphalt is struggling. Hopefully next year maybe things will get better here. But I mean, what we're into is what you're talking about, Don, economics. I mean, a lot of people right now, when we talk about empty grandstands and so forth, you want to go sit out in this heat, or you want to?
Oops. What'd you do? Mars, you lost him.
Mars is over there fiddling with the computer, so we don't know why. Is it my internet? Oh, it's his internet. Well, Rodney, if you can hear us, your internet sucks. Almost as bad as mine does. I was so ticked off, and I've got to interject this. So ticked off. Thursday, I'm at home Thursday.
Home alone.
Pretty much, yes. Home alone. And so at 8:30 in the morning, the internet goes out here at the house. Xfinity again. Thank you. What a worthless company that is, that I pay money to. Why am I doing that? I don't understand why I'm doing that. But at any rate, I do. And it was out from 8:30 in the morning till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just when I was trying to put together the car show. So I had to go through my Verizon cell phone, hotspot, tether, all of that stuff to be able to work on my computer and get everything done that I needed to get done. What? It's like the fourth outage in 6 weeks.
And you don't get any discount when they go out.
No, they could care less. Yep. Okay, well, I cut the cord when it came to TV. I cut it. It's gone. $265 a month. Gone. I went to Roku. How much does Roku cost me?
Nothing when you don't have internet.
$5.60 as long as I've got internet. Yeah. So, ticked. Oh, that's not the word for it. I had many other choice words for Xfinity. So
worse
Xfinity,
than a Craftsman torque wrench.
Yes, because the Craftsman torque wrench, that's gone. Thank you, George, for supplying me with something that's decent, as opposed to Craftsman tools that aren't even made in America. They've been made in China for I don't know how many years.
And aren't warranted for life.
No.
Regardless of what they say.
Yeah, well, I found that out. Yeah, no, they're not warranted for life. Rodney, if you can hear us, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to your internet. It went the way of my Xfinity account. So, time now for Konrad's Car Clinic. Do you have an opportunity to do that, Mr. Mars? Are you available to do that? Do we need anything over here?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. So Mars is filling in for Jeff today in this back and forth dance that he's doing. And so I'm sorry to have to bother you, but I know that you're busy. But it's about time you did something.
Well, we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now is how an engine is basically an air pump.
Yes.
How much oxygen can you get in it, and how much fuel can you put in it and make it stop? So, last week we talked about turbocharging and supercharging, about forcing air into the engine. And I said, well, there's another way of getting oxygen in the engine, and that is through nitrous, which is basically liquid oxygen. So nitrous oxide's 2 parts nitrogen, 1 part oxygen, and they can enter it into the engine a multitude of ways.
And it's cold.
It's cold, and one of the simplest ways is wrong one.
Don't worry about that. Just
One of the
continue on.
simplest ways that's been around a long time is through what's called a fogger. And a fogger is a plate that would fit under old cars, under a carburetor, newer cars behind the throttle body. And then they will just spray the nitrous in there. But when you add oxygen, you better add fuel to go with it. So you got to spray 2 things.
Why do you say that?
Because if all you do is add the oxygen and don't add fuel, it goes lean, and that's when things burn. It burn a hole in a piston if it goes lean too badly. So, the nitrous systems are going to be adding the nitrous for the liquid oxygen and the fuel, so that both of them together are what create the power. And then the complexity of the systems that are out there. The fogger was the easiest one back in my day. Foggers were the way people added horsepower to their car. And you could add 50, 100, 150, 200 shot of nitrous. Relatively easy. And then now,
when you inject that into the engine, is it a constant spray?
When you're on the button, it's a constant spray.
Okay, and that's what you want to set it up for.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then they've advanced the systems to make much more complicated systems where you might have 3 or 4 kits of nitrous on the vehicle. So in this picture you see here, this is an intake manifold they made for the GM LS motor. And actually, that's an LT motor. So this comes, you buy the whole thing, you buy the hose, the nitrous bottle goes in the trunk, and it will apply the nitrous. But everything's all put together for you. All you got to do is
package.
Unbolt one and bolt the other on,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you've got 200-300 horsepower added to your engine. But it's never enough, So some people have got 2, 3, 4 kits of nitrous. 5 and 6 kits of nitrous added to them. And there are some engines out there that they're adding 3,000 horsepower through nitrous systems. And in those nitrous systems, it's got to be able to put enough nitrous and enough fuel in it. So, you talk about on the top fuel cars how it's kind of like a shower head pouring fuel in the engine. Well, on some of these nitrous systems, that's a nitrous system that's spraying right now. It's spraying the nitrous and fuel. So, it's like a shower head. You'll burn through a lot of fuel, but that's probably putting out 600-700 horsepower right there easily. And then they've got systems that put out even more than that. Like I said, there are some systems out there that are putting out, up to 3,000 horsepower on nitrous systems. But you have to make sure your tune is correct, because when you put that much fuel in there, you have to make sure that the air-fuel ratio is correct. Otherwise, you'll burn the engine down.
The only way to do that is on a dyno.
On a dyno with a computer,
Correct.
Yeah, and you can see things that are happening. So they'll add and subtract. And one of the other things that they really have to pay attention to is what the ignition timing is, and that ignition timing change, 2-3 degrees here and there can have a serious impact on how much power that engine's putting down,
or blow it up,
or blow it up, or melt it down.
Yep.
So, but nitrous is another way to help that air pump work. Again, it's just a matter of providing liquid nitrogen, and then nitrous is a colorless gas with a sweetish odor. Not Swedish as in Danish, Swedish and sweet.
Swedish fish.
Like Swisher sweet. And it's created by heating ammonium nitrate. It produces an exhilaration or an anesthesia when inhaled. It's also an aerosol propellant, also known as laughing gas. Nitrous oxide can be used as a propellant in various applications of rocketry, but it's also used to make whipped cream. So your little can of spray-on whipped cream, there's a hit of nitrous in there. No, you can't bend it down. If you bend it down, you get the cream. If you hold it straight up and take the hit,
Only you would know that.
you can get a little nitrous rush out of it. And that's why when you go to the grocery store, all the whipped cream cans are gassed out. But it'll introduce a brief high. But in racing, nitrous oxide allows the engine to burn more fuel by providing more oxygen during the combustion process. There were some techniques used during World War II by the German Luftwaffe that used nitrous on some of their engines that's why that Me-109 Messerschmitt was such a powerful, scary airplane, because they had nitrous on it. So when they wanted to go faster, create more power, the pilot would hit the button and all of a sudden, the nitrous would apply and off it would go. But nitrous oxide is also used.
Is this a long report?
Yeah, is also used in dentistry to kind of numb the brain a little bit before they go in there and start poking you with the needles.
Yes, I know about that. I always used to see pinwheels. Pinwheels. When I went under nitrous, I finally told the doctor, I said, I can't do this. It freaks me out too much. Pinwheels.
See, and I thought you would have seen the test pattern at the end, at the midnight.
That follows the pinwheel. Yeah, along with the national anthem and the Lord's Prayer.
So there are various uses for nitrous, but probably the biggest application to it's the automotive. And the difference of the quality of the gas, there's a medical grade gas, and then there's an automotive grade gas. You don't want to be taking big hits of the automotive grade gas. It's not as pure as the medical grade gas. But it is pretty pure in a can of whipped cream.
I have one thing I want to get in here before the top of the hour.
Shut up and let's go. Don, back to you.
Thank you very much. There are a couple of recalls, and if you own a Ford from the 2023 model year, you'll want to know that the instrument panel may fail to illuminate on the Escape, the F250, 350, 450, and 550. And then the front windows may not reverse direction in the Ford 250, 350, 450, 550. And unexpected activation of electric parking brake on the Ford F-150 for 21 through 23. Those are the end of the recalls. And I'm going to talk about the auto workers strike that's pending, and we're going to talk about that.
Thank you, Bidenomics.
Shortly. All right. And that's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Quick break now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around, and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Konrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.